Hello everyone, how are your scheduling skills? I'm Dan McPherson with Leaders Must Lead, and one of the biggest struggles that my clients face is to create an effective schedule that holds up and allows them to be productive. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 quick tips that will help you save time and increase productivity. So tip number 1, schedule, but schedule the night before. Write this while your mind is fresh and thinking about the next day, but before you're caught up in the hustle and bustle of it. Give yourself an opportunity to think of things that you may have missed, but also to wake up and not have to make decisions, but to be able to just hit the ground running. As a corollary to that, take time to write out a prioritized to-do list, one that is ordered that if you have a little free time, this is the next thing you'll do. That'll save you from having to spend time making decisions the next day. And when you have that 10 or 15 minute window that unexpectedly pops up, boom, you'll already know what to do instead of sitting there thinking about what you should be doing. Tip number 2, batch. Use the power of batching to help you. One of the greatest principles of organization is to group like things together. This is one of the biggest misses that I see for many of those that I train and work with. I find that if they're hiring, maybe they'll have an ad out and they'll take a phone call here and then another phone call there and another phone call later on, and you get caught with something called the task switching cost, which is that to get back into a task that you get pulled out of, it takes an average of about 7 minutes of recovery time. So each time you switch, you lose 7 minutes and lose 7 minutes. You make 20 calls in a day, that's 140 minutes. You lost 2.5 hours of productivity that you can't afford to lose. So make sure that you're batching together, group like things together, keep that to where you will be efficient and to where that time frame doesn't get interrupted. Tip number 3 is to make sure that you alternate things that are draining and that are energizing. We all have tasks that we do that we don't love, but that we still have to do. We also have things that that energize us, that move us forward. Alternate those so that you don't have a day that is full of draining tasks that you might need 2 or 3 days to recover from, but instead that you have a day that keeps you level and keeps you moving forward. It will improve your consistency significantly to factor that in. In my case, the social events, the going out and meeting people energize me, and the things where I sit in front of the computer drain me, so I always make sure to sprinkle meetings throughout my day, but in carefully selected time blocks. Number 4, factor and flex. Everyone has a factor. Everyone has a factor that is higher than 1 when they think of what they're going to do. If you think something's going to take an hour, most commonly it takes more than that. Maybe for you it's 3 hours. Maybe for you it's 2. Maybe for you it's an hour and 5 minutes, but there is a factor involved. Figure out what your factor is and schedule for that. Assume that even though it'll look like you'll get less done, it will decrease the stress and pressure that you have on you in a given day so that you will be able to make more progress. Along with that, schedule flex time. You know stuff's going to come up. It always does. Crazy things happen throughout your day. Maybe for you that's normally a quarter of your day or half of your day, but whatever it is, allow for that and put it in as breaks between your scheduled items. So as a crazy example of how this can work is that if you work a 10-hour day and you know that about half of the time gets eaten up by crazy stuff, you can only schedule 5 hours of tasks or meetings. If you know that your factor is 2, things take twice as long as possible, then really it's only about 2.5 hours of what you thought. Now, you could easily say that this is you not getting as much done, but the reality is it's you accepting that you're going to get done the amount of things that you were anyway, and doing so in a less stressful environment that is more respectful of others, communicates better expectations, and gives you a chance to improve. Also remember, this is why you have your prioritized to-do list, so that if you don't have to use that flex time or your factor was a little bit off, you can just drop that next task right in and still be extremely effective. Lastly, guys, is this bonus one, which is email and social. This is the one that drives our day apart. We are taught through all these addictive behaviors that when we hear the ding or we see the notification come up for our email or for Facebook, that, oh man, we have to check it out right away. And that is simply not true. Set up expectations with those that know you. Make sure they know that you're going to respond to all emails within 24 hours. You're going to respond to all texts within 3 hours. If they call and it's a phone call, you're going to assume it's urgent, and you'll step out of whatever you're doing if you can to be able to answer answer that information. If you then have set that, now you can do something very important. You can do email and social 4 times a day, not 400 times a day, where you lose that task switching issue. You can schedule it 4 times a day. So do it at the beginning of the day, at lunch, at the end of your workday, and then maybe one more time at night to be able to get things taken care of. These are the type of things we talk about when we deal with stress and overwhelm, when we deal with time management, and I hope that these 5 tips have been of help to you. If you like this type of content, please like our Facebook page, jump out there with us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and also check us out at leadersmustlead.com. Hope you guys are doing well and have a fantastic day.